Spell it and give us your official titles, please.
Sure. I'm Jeremy Buckles, Jeremy Buckles, and I'm one of the lead meteorologists at the National Weather Service office in Morristown, Tennessee.
Thank you. And you, sir?
And I'm Brandon Wazalewski. I am a meteorologist at the National Weather Service in Morristown, and that is spelled BRANDONWASILEWSKI.
And Brandon, just before we start, just make sure you talk up, just because
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got all the mics.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys have been surveying this area for quite a few hours now. What did you learn?
Yes, we've been out here surveying the damage in the community of Oral here in far eastern Roane County along Highway 70, and we have found max winds of 95 miles an hour. The damage was consistent with an EF1 tornado that was about 200 yards wide at its widest and had about a half-mile path length. Of course, the max winds were about 95 miles an hour, but we actually had a lot of damage along that half-mile track of 70 to 80 miles an hour, with a lot of small structures damaged, a lot of hardwoods uprooted and snapped.
What was the worst of the damage that you saw?
I'd say the worst of the damage was some outbuildings and garages that were destroyed, as well as roof removal of some houses.
How long did the tornado last for?
The tornado lasted for only about a minute at most. Most of the residents that we talked to described it as a quick 15 or 20 seconds of intense wind, and then it was over.
How do you,
Yeah, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. You're good.
I was just going to say, yeah, what is a typical, when you guys are out here evaluating, what are you looking for to determine if this was a tornado?
So part of the way we estimate the wind damage is based on the enhanced Fujita scale. So a lot of meteorologists and civil engineers got together and looked at what kind of damage, tree damage, structural damage, resulted from various wind speeds. And so we're able to go out and look at damage that has occurred, and we can look at the damage, the direction of damage, which way trees are laying down, and kind of understand whether or not this was a circulation from like a tornado, and we can also estimate the wind speed magnitude off of that.
How often does something like this happen?
This is a very rare event. In East Tennessee, we have only had 5 tornadoes in the month of August on record, and that goes back about 80 or 90 years at most that the records go. So this is a very, very rare event. In fact, this system was so rare that it wasn't technically even a thunderstorm. There was no lightning with this system. It was a shower, a rain shower with some heavy rain. We were issuing some flood products on it as well. We did have some flooding issues in areas across East Tennessee with this system yesterday. But there was just enough wind energy in the environment right along kind of a front boundary that it was able to spin up very quickly, rapidly, with just very, very little lead time on it, and was over just as quick as it started.
Was the tornado limited to just Loudoun County? Did it go venture into Knox County at all?
The only tornado damage we have is in eastern Roane County. There was no documented damage that we have found in Roane County, or excuse me, we did not find any documented damage in Loudoun County. All the damage was actually in eastern Roane County. It's right here along the county line, but all of it so far that we found along the short track was in eastern Roane County.
If you had to compare it to other, I know it's very short and very intense for that brief second, but how does the damage compare to other similar types of events?
Yes, so we rate tornadoes on a enhanced Fujita scale, and that ranges from EF0, very weak tornadoes, to EF5, catastrophic tornadoes. So this was an EF1. It was relatively weak on the scale of tornadoes. And that's why, this is a great reminder for everybody to remember your safe space. We're going into our fall kind of little severe weather season upcoming in the months of October and November, and then before you know it, we'll be back in the spring again, where we have most of our tornadoes in March through May. And we can't have them around here. And so always be prepared, know where to go if there is a tornado, where to seek shelter in an interior room or basement in your home. And a good reminder too to have multiple ways to receive warnings. Think about how you would get a warning if you were asleep at night and a tornado, especially a strong tornado, was moving into your area. Make sure that you can be alerted and you can be woken up for any kind of event like that.
Any injuries from the event?
You could verify with emergency management. We have not received any reports of any.
And I guess just one more time to reiterate the extent of the damage. Is anyone displaced because of this, or is there just kind of damage to homes in general?
There's some damage to homes. I think some of the homes that were more severely damaged with the roof damage, it was bad enough that they are staying with some potentially, some others right now. I'm not sure of that. No homes were destroyed, so we're very fortunate of that. We're very fortunate that we haven't received any reports of injuries. Like I said, be sure to check with emergency management if you want to with that to confirm anything like that. But at least from what we've gathered, no serious injuries. Very fortunate that it was not worse, and this was a relatively weak tornado.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Can you think of anything, Brandon?
No, just how rare this is, and just the fact that there was no lightning. It was definitely unexpected type of thing. It was a day where we had some very borderline ingredients, but there was just enough instability, just enough spin in the atmosphere for this to occur. But definitely a very rare event, especially with no lightning. With the shower.
Exactly. It must be emphasized that this was a very, very rare event. We just do not see tornadoes very often in East Tennessee in the month of August. It is very rare. We've had 5 reports on record. This will be the 6th now. But just with the time of year that it is and the fact that this particular cell didn't even have lightning, it wasn't even technically a thunderstorm. It's just a very, very rare event. The ingredients were just enough together at just the right time for just a minute or two to get this EF1 tornado to occur.
I got one more question.
Sure.
You said that this is a rare occurrence. This will be the 6th one. Do you remember when the last time, do you know offhand any time when something similar to this had happened in this area?
We have a list. Yeah, here. I've got the
2004
Yeah.
was the last August
So
tornado.
2004 was the last one, and that was down in Bradley County, and it was an EF0. Out of the 5 previously to occur in this area in August, 3 were EF0s, 1 was an EF1, and 1 was an EF2. And that EF2 occurred back in 1964.
And is the area eastern Tennessee?
Sorry.
Is the area you're referring to eastern Tennessee or the state as a whole? Or
Yes, and that's for East Tennessee. So our particular area, it also technically covers Southwest Virginia and Southwest North Carolina, but for the respect of our area, East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, and Southwest North Carolina, this will only be the 6th August tornado on record.
Thank you, John.
Perfect, thank you.